So I see some small teams trying to fill a wide range of different roles on the product side of the house, oftentimes before they really even have the resources to do it. So here I wanted to call out, in terms of dev team structure, what's optimal or what have I seen work at various team sizes, starting with small teams, and what roles do you really need? How many people do you really need? So I went ahead and drew a diagram here on the board, and you can see there's actually only 4 people, and it could be as few as 3, but this actually is a prototype for a team that this might be the entire company, or maybe minus one. Maybe you've got a technical founder, you've got a business founder, maybe you have 1 or 2 developers beyond that, maybe you have 0, maybe that's the whole company, it's just the 2 founders. But when you get beyond that point, maybe you've got 1 or 2 developers, maybe there's a marketing person or something else on the business side. Focusing in on the product side, though, I want to look at, okay, when you've only got somewhere between 2 and 4 folks, what roles do people actually have to play? What hats do they have to wear? And who wears those hats? And so here you can see under tech founder, I've got development work because, of course, they've got to start the ball rolling. Also technology architecture. Also project management, because I think at this level, when you're with a really small team, you don't have the resources to necessarily bring someone on separately just for that. And then you can see over on the business founder side, I've got QA, and there's sort of a natural reason for this. That's that the business founder or the non-technical founder is the natural consumer of everything that the product side is creating. They are likely the salesperson or they're the person bringing it to market, right? So they need to be the person testing it. Every single release, every single patch that goes out, it needs to go into their hands first, and they need to sign off on it. So they end up being QA. They also end up being UI UX because, frankly, that's another role where you might involve someone very briefly to sort of set the table, with some initial designs. But with all the templates and all the things that are out there, just doing sort of high-level wireframes of, okay, what feature is wanted, things like that, that can oftentimes just come from that business founder who ought to be talking to customers every day. And actually, the technical founder ought to be talking to customers pretty frequently too. But really, that can be owned here. Product management, as differentiated from project management. So the project management, that's running the sprint cycle or assigning tasks to developers, and to oneself in this case. But product management, so actually coming up with what is this product supposed to be? How does it meet customers' needs? What are the major features that need to get built? What do those features look like? That can span across these in this sort of, 2-founder kind of structure here. If there is a technical founder, quite often the technical founder owns that. But equally often I do see that the non-technical founder, is the originator of the vision, and so they may own that. So that could go either way, but it needs to be in the hands of a founder, because who else knows what it is? What is the original vision? What are you trying to build here? So that's why that goes there. And then down beyond that, you've really got maybe, at the earliest stage, you've got 0 developers, so there's literally nobody down here early on. But after that, maybe 1 developer, maybe 2, maybe these are fractional resources. So different ways to skin that cat. But just bear in mind that at the smallest team structure, you've got to handle all of the following kind of tasks. You've got, product management, and someone's got to do either of these. Not either of these. Someone has to do all of these tasks one way or another to get a functioning product out the door. The dev, which everybody knows about, but you do have architecture. This happens sometimes implicitly, which isn't always a good thing. It happens implicitly because of how the technical co-founder just chooses to write the early parts of the code. But putting a little thought into that, can be helpful. Not too much, because it's all iterative in the early days. But that certainly is something that happens implicitly or explicitly. And then finally, you've got QA. That's another one that happens implicitly because the users find the bugs if you don't do any of it yourself. And then finally, UI, UX, which as often as not, that can come from users as well. But somebody's got to own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different competencies. And this is a good way that I see to lay it out, breaking it out just between two people with some developers who are really intended to be, heads down, cranking stuff out beyond that. And that's not to say that the technical co-founder isn't also doing the same. But there you have it, what I've seen work well with a very small team.